Hello, my pretties! Welcome to Perfectly Wretched, the third expansion in the Disney Villainous game. Today I'll be playing as Pete, one of the original Disney villains from the old school black and white cartoon shorts. Pete's really the wild card of this set. I wasn't expecting to see him in this game, but I'm glad he's here. His game is unique to Villainous both in its playstyle and in its artwork. While I set up, if you want to keep these videos coming, you can support my work at ko-fi.com/Strugi, and you can follow me at dstrugi on Twitter to see what else I'm up to. And of course, click on the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future playthrough videos. Now, Pete may be a wild card, but he's actually the first of the great Disney villains. He showed up long before the animated features, back in the Mickey Mouse shorts at the beginning of Disney animation. So you'll notice that his board and his artwork are all in black and white, just like those old cartoons. Not even any gold trim. It's a bold art choice and it makes his game really fun to look at. I'll be playing solitaire style, of course, so there are a couple of rule tweaks. First, I give myself 20 turns to win, and I keep track of my turns on this 20-sided die. I use my special dice to perform fate actions. One die is for playing fate against myself, and one is for performing my own fate actions. Next, I have to shuffle up and distribute these gold tokens. Pete doesn't come from a feature film, but from the cartoon shorts. So instead of one big epic quest, he has several mini objectives he has to complete. Place 4 of the tokens face down on your realm, one on each location, and set the 5th one aside. In a typical game with other players, you'd peek at your goals while keeping them hidden from your opponents, but for solitaire style, we're going to keep them hidden from ourselves too, until we move to each token's location. Pete's objective is to complete these 4 selected goals, and so his game changes every time you play him. We start our game, as usual, by drawing 4 cards into our hand. My first hand here has 2 copies of Sneaky Pete, which is an effect Pete uses to rearrange his deck. I only need this effect if I have the win big goal, so until I find out which goals I have, I don't know if I should keep these cards. Meanwhile, we have a couple of allies. Pete has a ton of these bandit characters. Cricket is a cheap little ally that comes in useful if you need to deal quickly with a newly arrived hero. Again, I'll know more of what I need out of my cards once I discover what my 4 goals are. So let's get started and move to our first location. I tend to go for whichever spot has my gain 3 power symbol, so I can get some money in the bank right away. Now I'm going to peek at my goal. It's power play. Spend at least 6 power in 1 turn while Pete is at this location. Podunk Landing is a good spot for this goal to be, since it has a gain 3 power symbol and 2 play cards, so we're lucky it ended up here. You can see now how bandits would come in handy in completing this goal, since I could play several of them at once and spend that 6 power in 1 turn. I've only got 1 bandit and 3 power right now, but it's something to save up for. In the meantime, I'm going to play Cricket just to get him out there and ready for action and to clear space in my hand for other cards I'm looking for. And then I'm going to discard one of my Sneaky Petes and keep the other one just in case. Then I'll end my turn and draw 2 cards into my hand and bring it up to 4. And I've ended up with 1 each of Pete's condition cards. One is Outrage, which helps me defeat a hero, and the other is Mischief, which, similar to Sneaky Pete, lets me rearrange my deck a bit. Now I'm going to bring my turn counter down to 19 and roll for fate. I'll use my fate attack die with the black and pink symbols on it to see if I get fated. I rolled a 0, so nothing happens. That's some good luck the first time out. For my next turn, I'll move to Frontier Town. And we'll take a look at our goal here. It's Rule the Realm. Start your turn with more allies than heroes at each location. This can be an easy goal to complete if there aren't any heroes in your realm, but don't count on that. I'm going to gain my 2 power, and then I'm going to play my bandit so I can get started on this goal. Like I said, it's pretty easy to complete this one if no heroes show up, but don't depend on your opponents showing you mercy like that. In a normal game, they wouldn't be able to see your goals without playing certain fate cards, but if they're savvy, they should know what you're up to. I'm going to call that the end of my turn and draw my hand back up to 4. Look, there's another bandit. Then I'll turn my counter down to 18 and roll my fate die. I feel like giving this a good shake for randomness. And it worked, I'm getting fated. Let's see what we get here. We have Clarabelle Cow and, we got Goofy. Clarabelle is a medium strength hero that allows your opponent to look at one of your gold tokens. When I play her against myself in a solitaire game, I simply turn over one of my revealed tokens, and then I have to move back and reveal it again before I can accomplish that goal. But in this case, it'll cause more damage if I play Goofy. As you might expect, Goofy messes things up. He can switch 2 gold tokens or move 1 gold token depending on the situation. And since some of your goals are location dependent, that can really throw a wrench into Pete's plans. So naturally, that's what we're going to do. I mentioned that having power play at Podunk Landing was convenient, so we're going to make that inconvenient and swap it with the gold token at the airport. It'll be harder to spend 6 power in one turn there. That's the disaster-prone magic of Goofy for you. Now, I could have moved Cricket over to Goofy's location when he was first played, and then play another ally on my next turn so that I have more allies than heroes at that location, but I didn't think about it, so we're moving on. For my next turn, I'll move to the service station, pick up 1 power, and play a bandit to Goofy's location. Now, if I'd had both of these bandits in my hand at the same time, I could have used that 1 play card symbol to play them both, and I wouldn't even have to play them to the same location. I still have to pay for them both, but you can see how bandits can help you out a lot in completing different goals. That's the trick of Pete's game, finding multiple uses for your card's abilities so you can work toward more than one goal at once. I need to get some more allies, but I also want to hold on to this Outrage card just in case it lets me defeat Goofy between turns. And I'll keep Mischief too until I find out what all my goals are. Before I end my turn, I'm going to perform a Fate action. So I'll use this Fate defense die with the gold symbols on it. And I rolled a 0 on this one too, so nothing happens. A whole lot of boring Fate actions in this game. Okay, I've changed my mind. I'm going to discard this Mischief card and then I'll draw my hand back up to 4 and end my turn. Steamboat Willie is one of my items. Each of the items in Pete's deck gives an extra action symbol to its location, similar to the items in Captain Hook's deck if you'll remember. And Play a Game is sort of a power ramp effect, and we use cards like Mischief and Sneaky Pete to rearrange the deck to make it more effective. It's also connected to one of the goals, but I don't know if I have that goal in my realm yet, so stay tuned and we'll find out. Speaking of goals, I forgot to reveal the goal at my current location. That was probably bothering you all. Let's take a look. It is Strike It Rich. I have to start my turn with at least 3 items at this location. I just drew Steamboat Willie, so that's a good start. Each of Pete's items matches a different location and has to be played there. Then, to meet the Strike It Rich goal, I'll have to move them around until I get them to the service station. Okay? Alright, let's turn our counter down to 17, and then we'll roll for Fate, and we lose 1 power. Moving on. Let's move back to Podunk Landing and see what our new goal is there. It's Roundup. Start your turn with allies totaling 10 or more strength at this location. This clashes a bit with our goal of getting allies at every location because now we have to pile up a bunch of them here at Podunk Landing to get to 10 strength. Nevertheless, we press on. Gain 3 power. I'm going to play Steamboat Willie right away to get an item out on the board, and then I'm going to use the move symbol on Steamboat Willie to move Cricket over for a tiny little boost toward the 10 strength I need. That's 4 strength total now, and 6 more to go. And with that, I'm going to end my turn and draw my hand back up to 4. I got Mischief again. I swear there are only 2 copies of this thing, but I keep finding them. So now that I've revealed all my gold tokens, I'll explain the extra one that we're not using. It involves playing this Play a Game card. You draw 2 cards from the top of your deck and gain power equal to their cost. When you're trying to complete the Win Big goal, you have to gain at least 4 power when you play a Game. Cards like Mischief and Sneaky Pete let you rearrange the cards on the top of your deck to help that gamble pay off. I find this goal to be the trickiest of the 5 to complete, so we lucked out a little that it's not in this game, but I wanted to show it to you so you get the whole picture. Moving on, we'll turn our counter down to 16 and roll for Fate. Fate's coming for us again. Okay, we have a couple of effects here. Knock Silly is used to discard expensive cards from the top of Pete's deck so he has a harder time completing Win Big. Since we don't have to accomplish that goal in this game, that's not going to hurt us much, although it could take a little power away. In a game with live players, your opponents wouldn't know that you don't have Win Big in your realm, so you could maybe bluff them into playing it since it won't hurt you. But for this game I'm going to go ahead and play Hide, which removes a bandit from my realm, and that sets me back on more than one goal. Okay, next turn. I'm moving to the service station, gaining 1 power, and then... All my cards are pretty useless to me right now for the goals I'm trying to complete, so I'm just going to discard everything except Outrage. And then I'll cast Fate and hope I can get something good. Black. I lose 1 power. Fate's really kicking me in the shins here. I have that one negative Fate result on this die because sometimes performing Fate doesn't work out for you, and this is one of those times. So let's draw 3 new cards into our hand. This is nicer. Airstrike lets you defeat a hero without using allies, and then I've got 2 more allies, 1 more bandit and a horse. Sorry, I like to arrange the cards in my hand in order of power cost, so forgive my fiddling here. Next, we are turning our counter down to 15 and rolling for fate. Alright, look at that. I rolled the pink play card symbol, which means I can play a condition card, which means I can play Outrage, which means I can get rid of Goofy. So I'm going to head right back to Podunk Landing now that I have that top row of action symbols cleared up again. I'll gain my 3 power, and I'm going to play an ally for sure. Horse is a good one because his ability lets me move an item or ally to any location in the realm. But first I'm going to play another bandit so I can work toward completing that roundup goal. And now we'll play that horse, which gets us about halfway to that goal, and lets me move Steamboat Willie directly to the service station. And you see now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strength at Podunk Landing, so I'm halfway there. We are in business. I'll draw my hand back up to 4, I've got another bandit, a parrot, and another item, and I'll end my turn. Bringing the counter down to 14, and rolling for fate, here we go again. Let's see who's meddling in our schemes now. It's another Knock Silly, which won't really do anything to us because again, we're not trying to complete win big, so that's going to go in the discard. And it's Donald Duck. I really love that the classic icons of Disney cartoons get to show up in this game thanks to Pete. Anyway, Donald has to be defeated before other heroes, and we will play him to the service station where he'll cover up a gain 1 power and a play card action. Back to my turn. I'll move Pete to Frontier Town and gain 2 power. I'm going to play this parrot to Podunk Landing to increase my strength there, and then I get to retrieve a card from my discard. So I'm going to pick one of the bandits fate took from me. And now I have 2 bandits in my hand that I can play together when I get the chance. I'll draw my hand back up and then end my turn. We're down to 13 now. Gotta get this machine moving before I run out of turns. We'll roll for fate and, oh boy, here we go again. Who's it going to be this time? It's Oswald and Pluto. Oswald's ability hampers your efforts to complete win big, so he's not a big threat to Pete right now. Pluto, on the other hand, can move an item, so he would be a perfect saboteur for this situation. We'll play him to Podunk Landing and move Steamboat Willie all the way back there. Darn you, Pluto. Okay, that was a setback. Let's see what we can do about it. Heading back to Podunk Landing, gaining 3 power. And all I'm going to do is play Airstrike. That's going to take me to the service station where I will promptly defeat Donald, because remember, I have to defeat him before I can defeat other heroes. And then, Pete, stand up. I end my turn. Pete, get on your feet. This is the end of your turn. You're embarrassing yourself. So, I'll draw my hand back up to 4, organize my cards, and turn the counter down to 12. Then we'll roll for fate. -1 power again. Whew, he really is getting knocked silly. Okay, on to the next turn. Back to Podunk Landing, gain 3 power, then we're using that 3 power to play Jalopy, an item that goes straight to the service station, and gives me an extra play card symbol there. Very nice. Then I will use Steamboat Willie's move symbol to move itself, so it's on its way back to the service station. And that's going to end my turn. Drawing my hand back up to 4, turning the counter down to 11, and rolling for fate. Gah! Fate again. 2 effects this time, Outlawed and Hide. We'll play Hide again, and that'll remove one of our bandits. Again. I still have 2 bandits in my hand, so we're not out of this fight yet. Let's head back to the service station and gain 1 power, then play our parrot for 1 power and get that bandit back. Now I have 3 bandits in my hand, and with a bit of simple math, we can see that if I played them all at once, I'd be spending 6 power in 1 turn, which would complete my power play goal. I just need to collect that 6 power first, so let's perform a fate action and see if we can get some good luck. Hey, there we go! We get 1 power, 5 more to go. We're down to 10 on our turn counter now, halfway through. Let's roll to see what fate has in store for us. -1, of course. Okay then. Back to Podunk Landing. Gain 3 power. Since I need some power, I'm going to give Play a Game a try. I'm not sure if it'll help, but let's take the gamble. So first I pay 2 power, and then I reveal the top 2 cards of my villain deck. They are Parrot and another copy of Play a Game, which adds up to 3 power total. So I spent 2 power and gained 3 power. Not a real jackpot move there, but I tried. So those cards go into the discard, and I have 4 power now. That's going to end my turn, and I'll draw up. And oh wow, look at that, would you? I have a full hand of bandits now. That's quite the little army there. Pete's gunning for a big comeback, it seems. Okay, we're down to... what are we down to? We're down to 9 now. We're rolling for fates. Ugh. Alright, let's take our punishment. Never said being a villain was easy. We've got Horse Collar and the one and only Mickey Mouse. in his world-famous Steamboat Willie scene. So of course we're going to play him. Mickey Mouse prevents Pete from completing any goals at all, so we've got to knock him out of the picture before we can proceed. Fortunately, we have a whole band of bandits to help us do just that. I'm gaining 2 power at Frontier Town, then I'll play just one of my bandits to Mickey's location and save the others for a power play. Then I'll move the horse over to join the bandit, and with that we can vanquish Mickey out of our way. So long, Mickey, thanks for dropping by, thanks for making it brief. That concludes our business for this turn, so we'll draw our hand back up to 4, another play a game that we probably won't use, and we'll dial our counter down to 8. 8 turns left. What's fate going to try to do to us this time? I'm going to roll with my other hand, see if that makes a difference. We got a 0, alright, I'll take it. Moving to the airport, we'll gain 1 power, perform a quick fate action, and we get to gain another 1 power. Love it. That brings us up to 6 power, so guess what we're doing next? Wait, first before we do that, I'm going to use a move symbol. Doesn't matter which one I say it is, it works the same either way, to move Steamboat Willie into place at the service station. And that brings us another step closer to completing Strike It Rich. So now let's assemble all these bandits. We're playing 1, 2, 3 bandits with 1 play a card action and spending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power to do it. That completes the power play goal and we can remove it from our realm. I like to set completed gold tokens beneath Pete's portrait in a little stack. And with that out of the way, we'll draw our hand back up to 4 and end our turn. Hey, there are the other 2 items. Very nice. Now we're down to 7 turns left and 3 goals to complete. We'll roll for fate. And we rolled the condition card symbol, but we don't have any condition cards to play, so we simply move on to our next turn. And since we have 10 strength at Podunk Landing at the start of this turn, that means that we've completed the roundup goal. I'll remove that and set it with the other completed gold token. Doesn't that feel nice? We've got 2 goals left, so let's move to Frontier Town now. Gain 2 power. And since I don't need all those allies at Podunk Landing anymore, I can move a bandit over to help me complete Rule the Realm. Then I'll play another bandit to the service station, and this gives me allies at all the locations in my realm. Then we'll go ahead and use one of the many allies at Podunk Landing to vanquish Pluto. I have a ton of allies there from my earlier goal, so I could have completed Rule the Realm without defeating Pluto, but why not just get him out of the way? Let's finish this turn by drawing our hand back up to 4. And now I have allies at all of my locations and 0 heroes. So at the start of my next turn, I should be able to complete Rule the Realm. Even if a hero gets played, I can move Cricket so that my allies outnumber them, and I'm still in the clear. We're down to 6 turns left. Rolling for fate gives me another condition card symbol, but I still don't have a condition card, so let's start the next turn. Rule the Realm is now complete. La-di-da-di-da. Time for the final push. We've got the items we need, so first we'll move to Podunk Landing and pick up that sweet 3 power. And then for our play a card action, we have 2 perfectly good options. Both of these items have gain 1 power symbols, and as it happens, they belong to the locations on either side of the service station. So I can play either one of these and then quickly move them over to complete my goal. If I had any more power, I'd play this horse and move it right away, but I don't, so I'll end my turn, draw my hand back up to 4, and dial my counter down to 5. 5 turns left, my friends. Let's roll for fate. Looks like it's going to be kind to us this time around. We rolled a 0. Moving to the airport, we'll gain 1 power, then we'll gain 1 power again from the stolen cargo item, then we'll use our move symbol and move that stolen cargo over to the service station where it will join our other 2 items. Then I'll perform a fate action for good measure. This could be the last time. Another 0. Oh well, no big deal. Looking at my hand, I still have 2 horses on me. If fate hits me with something that moves my items around, I can deploy these fellows to move them back, so I'm in pretty good shape. We'll turn our counter down to 4, and we'll give that fate die one last roll, hopefully. There it is. I don't have a condition card to play, so my next turn begins. And that means that with my 3 items at the service station, I have completed Strike It Rich. We have completed all 4 of our selected goals, which fulfills Pete's objective, and we've won the game. Good job, everyone. Quick peek at the last few cards left in the Fate deck. The only hero we didn't get to see was Minnie Mouse, and her ability is to discard an item from your realm, so that could have set us back. But we still had that other item in our hands, so we wouldn't have stayed down for long. If you enjoyed this game and would like to keep seeing more, support me on my Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/Strugi. You can also follow me on Twitter to see what else I'm up to, and subscribe to this channel in the meantime so you don't miss future videos. I got my copy of Despicable Plots, and I've already played a few rounds with it, so I'll be bringing you videos of Gaston, Lady Tremaine, and Horned King soon. I also have a homemade Chernobog game of my own I'm going to play for you all. And next up in the Perfectly Wretched series is Mother Gothel, so stick around, there's lots more to come.